Minority leader Afenyo Markin is back on the Monchimonka Highway. Only Interior Minister Muntaka Patupa on Accra flood who ensensem. And on a majority leader Mahama Ayariga switch the one enyadia Obeyan Shahan said Afenyo Markin Onga Canadian enter Interior Minister. And it's Afenyo Markin on Nusunya mess call ever parliament ho flood who ensensem ya ebusunya sesiano yenim nia air problem no. Odi for kombinesi ama Ajagurajah o chiremu Accra flood and sansama no efri hey ebusama srawa so we share video we na obetrawa dwen amam your comment section ho follow Trends GH on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and X bebia Trends GH yambo ran semenu 2 days ago, flood on my Ghana, ye experience a greater Accra region, any some part of Ghana, Busia flood, a course, so ewo nimpa bebrinano, ashro monkwa, properties bebrina so, a yadia, yelusu. Now, before Accra and Ra, Interior Minister, Obeko Parliament, Edisa briefing 2 days ago, part of Ghana, air flood, Interior Minister, o make announcement say, Omwa omu free fie no, ebeya mobia a movie, amanfo show mudem. So, enonam so and Ra. Interior Minister Honorable Muntaka okopie mo Parliament House o briefi Parliament ene Ghana for eba no flood en ho ensensem na nia ekọ support nipa dodo a o ma hwere o nkwa number of people are nsuo no displace omo ene Ghana for yankasa so yende ye bi a ema flood no ekọ so.
Mr. Speaker, the flood that affected the Greater Accra was something that yes, the Ghana Meteorological Agency drew our attention and told us that we should expect more rains this June and July. Yes, it's something that they mentioned to us. But what they try to do is that on daily basis, they try to give us, at least in 6 hourly basis, the likelihood of what will happen. Mr. Speaker, let me state that what happened yesterday came to our attention only around midnight of the day before yesterday, that yes, the rains as they predicted will be coming, but they are expecting that it to be a little heavier than they expected. So even as at that time, they could not really tell us about the quantum of water we should expect. But Mr. Speaker, by the time we got to the morning, we saw a volume that is the 4th highest that this country has ever seen since 1995, a volume of 169 millimeters of water in a day. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the statistics that we received from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, it clearly states that in the month of June, we normally expect a lot of rains. But what happened yesterday gave us 169.2 millimeters of water. And this is the 4th largest volume of water in a day since 1995. And for the month of June, we had a total in month of June of 593.2 millimeters of water. And Mr. Speaker, is the highest our country has ever received in its history in 1 month, 593.2. The closest was in 2002, and that was 420.6 millimeters. And the other one was 2015, 380.3 millimeters. And these statistics, Mr. Speaker, I'll make it available for the House, are the things that, so it clearly shows that, yes, the human activities, pouring, refuse into our drain, building on waterways, all contributed. But naturally, it clearly shows that even if we had everything right, the kind of rains that we received in June and yesterday will have necessarily created some overflow and created some problem for us. Mr. Speaker, what have been government interventions since we got to know that we were going to run into crisis? Mr. Speaker, you realize that the Minister of Interior gave an alert and advisory to all citizens, especially in and around Accra, to stay home. And we're able to do this very early. Mr. Speaker, we believe that that has contributed largely into minimizing the kind of crisis that we could have had. Because if all persons around that rush hour were in traffic where they could not turn around and other things, and worst case, maybe fire gutted into it, maybe we'll have been counting much losses than we are seeing today. Mr. Speaker, when you put all these numbers together, we have a total of 7,761 households that were displaced, with 38,802 individuals affected. 7 people, as of this morning, were displaced, and the total death are 12 individuals that we lost.
Interior Minister Muntaka in some way already to be about flood and air cost 2 days ago, no, and a minority leader, Afenyo Markin, also say, Interior Minister Semen Wuki. Ghana for na insure a year for my say Omunja Padia Bebrina Sashra Munko. Wo was the Major Parliament, ha? Kasa ai, Timemufuano Omundi Yebi, Kahuna Sa Fladeno, Ecosono. Wo Interior Minister, what's the Abayno etu anamo bena Abayno etu. Catch here, Afenyo Markin, so parliamentar. Or the association. In fact, Speaker of Parliament, or no problem.
The minister at the dispatch box submitted that upon receiving warning from Accra Metro that in June there will be torrential rainfall, certain actions were taken. Mr. Speaker, the minister did not spell out those specifics. And Mr. Speaker, this is a house of records. We are aware of a presidential committee headed by the Deputy Chief of Staff. They were asked to do a particular job regarding the flood. There is no report. So if the minister mounts the dispatch box and tells the nation that certain actions were taken, at the time he himself was telling the country that people should stay at home, their homes were already flooded. So which way were they supposed to stay? If you say you put in place certain measures, your duty is supposed to tell us what exactly you did. But you cannot make it a passing comment, then turn around to blame the citizenry by saying that people should take responsibility. Individuals were not responsible. That is why I want this to be out of the records, because, Mr. Speaker, it's a serious statement indicting people already suffering, who are going through crisis, who have lost their property, who have lost lives. Then all we hear from the minister is that people are not being responsible. Mr. Speaker, that is the point I want to make and want the clarity on. Is the reason why I said the minister should have come with a formal statement. Right, he's telling me that he has sent me a copy. Where you have sent it to my chief whip. But if you knew you had a formal statement, why didn't you wait to get the statement properly read? Now you're saying that your statement is ready. Yet, you spoke extempore and raised certain issues. And I've taken down note. That is why I want Mr. Speaker to take note. But let the records reflect that the minister at the dispatch box is now doing blame game. He's also saying that the government took steps. Which steps we don't know. Which steps we don't know.
Minority leader, with all this respect, let's get things right. If the minister says certain actions were taken, but he failed to mention those actions, which of the rules does that violate? For which reason, I will ask the minister to withdraw.
Speaker, with respect, thank you very much for that important question. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of records. The old maxim, et ihilis, et ihilus. You can't place something on nothing. Mr. Speaker, the minister must anchor every submission before this house on facts. If you say you did something, you took a ministerial action, and that ministerial action, nobody knows about it, it becomes empty. It sits on stilts to make such submission. And that is the contention here. So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow a minister to make a statement which statement is not supported by any fact. We don't know anything. Mr. Speaker, let us read the rules. 91(2), Mr. Speaker. A minister of state may make a statement of government policy, and the statement shall be limited to facts which are necessary to be made known to the House. Mr. Speaker, my argument, the prayer before you is that the facts upon which he makes his submission are unknown. He didn't state those facts. If indeed the government are taking certain actions, what are those actions? Did you brief the House? Did you tell the public that there will be torrential rainfall in June? You've been warned by Accra Metro. Therefore, take the following steps. Did you do the dredging? What happened to the report of the Deputy Chief of Staff who was put in charge of this? So you cannot just make a sweeping statement and expect that this House will be quiet. What were the facts upon which you mounted your the government policy on? If you say there was a policy, which policy you followed religiously? Why are we in crisis? And then now you are blaming the citizens who are suffering, the people who are crying, who are wailing. You are now here in Parliament blaming them. What have they done? You have been given a state authority. You have the power of the state to enforce laws. You have the power of the state to enforce laws. Don't do in blame game. We don't want lamentations, Honorable Minister, with respect. We don't need lamentations. People are suffering. You were in opposition. You cried louder. You cried aloud. You wanted people to take action. Now it's your turn. Take action. Take action. No blame game, Minister. No blame game.
Minority Leader, I think you had your turn.
Minority Leader Afenyo Markin, bumper to bumper way Odema Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarakano. Erona Edru, Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga Netena Ochim say. Afenyo. Makacho as a parliament Jumano. Nyabotre. Sanya Mahama Ayariga. Or this Afenyo Markin or Hono. Or say Afenyo Markin. Onjai drama or your parliament wono. Nana sama original na naiswa okan ye ni nyina no. Ono Mahama Ayariga. Obono bumper to bumper nibi.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader is speaking as if he didn't leave office just about 15 months ago. And he's speaking as if 2 years ago there was no flooding in this country. As if 3 years ago there was no flooding in this country. As if 4 years ago there was no flooding in this country. I recall sitting on that side of the house, and every year we make statements on flooding in this country. So why are you behaving as if this is the first time that Accra is getting flooded? Why are you behaving that way? Please, stop the drama. The minister came under Order 93. Order 93 to make a statement on an urgent public matter. An urgent public matter. And he went straight to the facts. He indicated that the meteorological department had forecasted heavy downpour of rains, but they did not indicate the likely volume. And that when the rains did come, the volume was so much that even if we had done the best of preparations, we will still have been overwhelmed by the volume of the water. These are facts put forth by the minister. So these are facts. You can't say that the minister did not present any facts. And he then proceeded to indicate the extent of the destruction, mentioning specific communities, mentioning specific numbers, details, how many people died in which community, how many properties were lost, households, and then concluded by indicating that as a result of the emergency, he has appeared before the Finance Committee with the Finance Minister to seek financial approval from the contingency fund so that urgent steps can be taken to address the plight of those who have suffered as a result of this catastrophe, and indicated the amount, 350 million Ghana cedis, and said that 250 million Ghana cedis is going to be devoted to supporting those who have suffered, whilst the 100 million will be used to ameliorate the situation that has caused the flooding, which is desilting and other actions. 150 million. These are facts. And this committee met this morning, the finance committee met this morning, and I have a statement of the finance committee which they will be presenting to this house. These are facts. They occurred in this house. How can you say that the minister did not present any facts based on which he anchored his statement? In the concluding part, he indicated that floods are an act of God. They come, the rains come. We can never predict the volume of the rains. We have been living in Accra, and for the first time, some of us saw it rain from morning till evening for about 2 days. So these are facts. Now it is for this house to debate, to comment on it, sympathize with the families, but you cannot try to create the impression that the minister, all he got up and said was he is blaming individuals. In this chamber, all of us have blamed individuals. In this chamber, all of us, we have blamed individuals who have built on the waterways. We have blamed individuals who have built on the waterways and blocked the waters. We have in this chamber, go and pick the hands out. Every single one of you here. We have on radio, go and listen to the radio stations. People are blaming those who have built on waterways, and they are asking government to pull down those properties. The owners of the property are also blaming government for coming to pull down their properties. So please.
At this point, about the cause of flooding in Ghana, my confused. Say, President Biaba, the reason for cause of flooding no is different. When the young brain kakra, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, ono de making it clear, say Ghana. Adienti a ye experience flood no engineering problem. Na senya your president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, ono so kire mu say indiscipline. Omo to bola. Egu baby a enye so omo to bola egu ene afisu no nananom ahemfo omo so ka ho bi. Nsuo mu kra na omo ton asase amanipa. Na so 2 days ago flooding wey a course so Ghana ya. Ghana man pani san so kire mu say engineering problem no odibeka ho because eno so e ka ho a ema oman Ghana ye experience flood no. Na me kai krai say enra honorable Kwame Asare Obi A+. Chasa nsema obe hie gu ho impo bebre na kire mu say cause of flood no de eno na honorable A+ enra odibetu dwa no. Eno nti ebe ya impenifuo omonfa A+ nsema na obeka ye no serious. And no different community ama Ajagurajah o kire bi say cause of flooding no ni obi aka ya bia no mo fa to bebi asa ono na ohun sunsun mu wiase Ghana mpanifuo omuntie nsam a obeka ni yie we dey aji dachi ekoto na ntwi o.
It has nothing to do with drainage.
There be enye noa.
And I'm going to explain to you
why
flooding cause one crime. Casablanca Yankupon no.
Ayawa.
Mansu see obi akofa ne bosom, obi akofa baby feed baby ba.
Nokure.
Ano man neglecting crime goes no.
Amajaom. Wadama. Se mansu koswa obi
say ya twa kunya wo mansu a.
Wadama.
Wako Benin, wako Tanzania, wako Mali, wako fifa bosom bebre aba. Because they have neglected the gods of the land. So the gods of the land at Oyenche mo ba unstoppable.
There be
Dubai. Why advance to Dubai? Doesn't it flood?
So you
question. Are you more advanced than Dubai? American flooded.
A flooded.
What are you telling me?
A flooded. Who
do Japan form?
But there be
got them.
But there be
Japan flooded.
A flooded.
Don't tell me that. Family government.
Or the question government. Or the question.
What technology change are you Dubai for? Australia flooded. Australia.
Flooded.
They have neglected the deity. Calling almost. It has nothing to do with architectural structure. And he said, Mahama want to take spiritual steps, sir. It is going to happen every year.
The top engineers from China. No,
top engineers from China draining Ghana. It's me, Mahama. Me ko boka se drainage. Gather the gas. Let them do their.
Madam, or some of your tradition, sacrifice, and all some years.
And two of them say child on flood, you know, or man planning child seven flash, I flood. Asa. I'm talking about spiritual issues. You are there talking about spiritual issues. You are talking about nonsense. The gods are upset. Appease the gods, and everything will be okay. I'm catching up. Simple as that. Look at the spiritual side first. So a drainage problem, yeah. I hear then a Dubai flood. If it is a drainage problem, tell me. I have a drainage I hear Dubai. New York flood. What do you mean by that? Train station under substations as oh, get out. Where Kentucky? U.S. Kentucky. Drainage. Oh, bottom papa. Where U.S. Kentucky? Are you telling me nonsense? U.S. if you're not Asabergeno. Drainage. Mama Vaja drainage. Mississippi. Yeah. Kentucky. Yeah. Even landing flats. You are there talking nonsense. Accra is choked. Change the capital, Mr. President. And all this will stop. Accra needs to be relocated. Mr. President, that is the simplest thing you can do, Mr. President. I know I'm not in any position to advise you, Mr. President. The kind of education you have, I don't have it. The kind of exposure you have, I don't have it. But Mr. President, I know spirituality. And I know you are the only person who can do this. Mr. President, with all due respect, Mr. President, you don't need any plan to whatever, Mr. President. Mr. President, please just take the initiative, Mr. President, and relocate the capital from Accra. But Mr. President, the gods of the land are upset. They have been neglected. Mr. President, at first, when there is a public gathering or there's an occasion, a great occasion, Mr. President, the traditionalists came to also offer their prayers. Why is it stopped, Mr. President? And spiritualists are not conform. I will be a frahu president and queen nena kobon koma. Yebe pamo no se ni hu fi. Ni nurses from wabo pada. But so far about critical. I will be in the name of Jesus. Yebe ba no come na we Flagstaff House. Baba ma me share gan ko gina Flagstaff House. Me ya Ajagurajah ma ba yebe pam me.
Muda.
Adentia. We are deemed to be evil.
Okay.
But if you saw any bomb pay makuru, ya pay makuru.
Sanity.
Ebiana and Jenny Yaye to channel.
And no nebuabi.
And the boy be.
Sanity.
And you grandes canto camber the capa.
Scoto Yandriki. There be.
So for Beduko be say, yeah, election, or ya a quantity all the 200 and something a yinina. Quantity ben a Urakoye. I can say you should be making a baby for a bomb pie.
Look, I
don't want catchy.
Sanity.
Everybody could be or catchy.
No walk a baby.
Do you want to be president of Ghana or what? For Jimmy Free, so called for Kwasia, Abua. What was for coming president?
Jimmy
Abua.
Jimmy now.
I can't just pay Jimmy as well.
Madam, that is
now
a manifesto.
Back to my topic.
It's your como.
As they say Ghana is a Christian. Who told you Ghana is a Christian country?
One a car has some natural war.
Who lied to you?
Find a catch a war. Huh? Christos from the buyer, and then anonymous.
Who lied to you? Say Ghana is a Christian country.
When the cars are truckers, the HRO.
Moja and the good for J. Man, it's what is all cat a Christo to go for.
Whatever about your Debbie. Ah, Wadama. Moja, Yananum, Edu from Eddie, you are my
institution of your boy. Ho.
Wadama. What is that? You can say a car.
Yeah, boy.
No,
so the Oya couldn't do him. Who said Ghana is for Christ?
Nearly put down with Antron.
What a cows are thrown. Motor Moody, Yanana, Suma boss, Jimmy, no bush moon, the GC. Conform a gas at Messi.
Look,
yes, of war.
Debbie, Into a month and share of what that. The be
Comfort the G Santa Mindisi.
I comfort Nananom Legisi, and you
Chimino.
I
don't know how many Kuma time the name showing in Fagana.
I didn't hear.
How many floods were recorded in Warren's era?
Into a different community, cause of flood in Ghana, Hano, a spiritual. And into Ghana man penny, I ebeya o movie the capital of Ghana, free Accra. Now fisuno, e was somebody a quantre e gufum, I was a neoma e koso. And sana, oh my Ghana, yaji a home, every flooding mu, essence. It was a minimum against on in some Ajagurajah or the able to be. Feel free. Natural wajumam your comment section ho. Na share video way. Senebeya afofroso omonsa ebekebi. Flood and other spiritual. Macro.